Nobody said it was going to be easy, but figuring out how to tackle Cincinnati's child poverty crisis is turning out to be even more daunting than expected.
Local 12 News reporter Jeff Hirsh shows us why the time frame for Mayor John Cranley's Child Poverty Collaborative is being moved back.
Let me show you something. This is not a new board game, and it's not a design for a new video game. Rather, this chart explains all the different federal government anti-poverty programs, more than 80 of them, spending $1 trillion a year. Trying to navigate this, trying to explain it and understand it, like the roll of a dice. Which is one reason why Mayor John Cranley's task force on child poverty, called the Child Poverty Collaborative, will not have its proposals ready by the mayor's original goal of June 30th.
It has to have public buy-in, and in fact, we're not going to be able to finish the recommendations until September, October now, in part because we're going to need to do a lot more public engagement and listening to people who are actually transitioning from poverty back to work.
In his State of the City speech in October, the mayor announced an extremely ambitious goal of getting 10,000 children out of poverty in our area in 5 years. But how do you come up with new proposals on a subject which has already been studied to death? For the past 2 years, the Youth Commission has been investigating issues about the city's children and teens, including poverty, and will be making recommendations this summer. This study started well before the mayor's task force was even a concept. Is that overlap? Are we reinventing the wheel here?
I think that what you're going to find is that there are lots of good pockets of data. You see, XU has done an amazing study for the Community Action Commission, and then what's working its way through City Hall. So the opportunity for us is to try to pull all those pieces together and come up with a coherent profile. So that's what we'll be doing.
Not reinventing the wheel?
Absolutely not.
The collaborative will, of course, hear from experts, but to get that critical community buy-in, the report, whenever it's out, will have to be more than just something from a bunch of suits. That's why there are some inner-city teens on the panel as well. What message are you bringing to these folks? Probably none of whom live in Avondale, I'm guessing.
Education being the most important. Knowledge is power. The farther we exceed and succeeding our expectations that's been set for us, the more power that we can get throughout life.
In the end, the Child Poverty Collaborative will not be judged by what comes out later this year, but rather by how many children are out of poverty in future years.
They have to be recommendations that are actionable.
If not, the odds of success are just a roll of the dice. Jeff Hirsh, Local 12 News.
And we will continue to track the mayor's poverty project to see if that later deadline is met. And we'll host an hour-long town hall meeting on childhood poverty, Cincinnati's crisis, on Monday, March 21st. It'll be at 7 o'clock until 8 in the evening. We'll broadcast it live and commercial-free on Local 12 and live stream the hour-long event on local12.com.